So
I just got like a fucking verbal beatdown from you about how I use the mic. I've been in show business for 25 years.
That's weird. It doesn't show. It's great how you can take your 25 years and act like it never happened. The way you do this podcast is I talk to the mic and you turn around and talk to the wall.
I happen to be in the
wall.
I'm in the recording industry.
Barely.
I make music.
I would say there's a reason your
So
band does
a lot
not
of
have
times-
vocals, and that's because you scream at the floor.
A lot of
instead of
times
the
you
mic.
want to put a mic far away from an amplifier. That's what I'm
like-
saying. It's a tone. What I'm trying to do is you're doing some sort of modern, I don't
Yeah.
know, you're doing like a Tame Impala record,
Interesting.
and I'm doing like a lo-fi put away from the, I'm like a Pavement record come to life.
Well, it's like doing a podcast with a lobotomized ape. You walk in the room. We're back. Do we have any announcements?
Do we have any? Yeah. Do we have any?
I mean, we have an upcoming live show on September 28th at the Improv, which it's two shows. First, it's the podcast, a live podcast, followed by stand-up,
Right.
which will be Greg headlining, and then he gonna give me like 5 minutes or something.
We'll see. If that. Do you need that much time? I can boil Shame Chamber down to a word. Ready?
Great.
Baby. And then that's it. It's just,
What does
it's
that
just
mean?
about a baby. The
It's
whole
not-
thing's
you're a
about
fucking
baby.
moron.
It's about a baby.
I feel like people don't like you.
I think that's true. I don't think that's true.
It might just be my feeling.
Yeah, it is.
About how I feel about
I think
you,
that's
and I'm putting them on
100%.
other people.
We have a
but-
guest on today who was a fan, I think.
Full fan.
You listen?
Fanatic.
Really? You listen?
Like
to this?
fanatic.
I didn't know you were a listener.
Listener, one-time listener, long-time
Long-time
fan.
That's a fan.
The only time I met you was at the Portland
Portland, the theater up there.
Bridgetown Festival.
Bridgetown Comedy
Festival.
Festival.
In April.
And I was
Was I
like,
the only one of us that had a good time?
Yeah. I was
Our
like.
guest is
Go ahead.
Joe Sib.
Hi.
Do you want to say who he is? For
He's
people?
a fucking lot of things. I mean, if you're a punk,
Yeah,
if you're an
what-
old punk, then he was in the band Wax. He fronted the band Wax, and he was in
Which
22
people
Jacks.
if people really want to connect with, that was the classic video of the guy slowly walking down the street on fire.
running up, right? Yeah, running right down there on
Right by
running,
Meltdown.
yeah.
Right by Meltdown. Right there.
right across the
on
street from
corner.
Meltdown.
I wanted him to run into Meltdown.
Was that
Yeah.
Spike
Wasn't
Jones?
even there. Spike Jones.
Yeah, that was like his first big video, right?
You know, at that point, well, he had already done. He had done Buddy Holly with Weezer, and
I
that
thought
was
you
the-
said Bunny Holly.
Bunny
Which would
Holly.
have been awesome.
I thought you said he did the bunny hop.
He did the bunny hop.
which I don't even know what that is, but
It's
I
a
like the
video
idea of
that,
it.
that didn't air a lot. No, he had already. Spike and I grew up. We met in Los Angeles when I was in Wax, and we were both into skateboarding. And at that
Oh,
point,
really?
He was doing a lot of photography for a lot of magazines. And our manager at the time was close with him. And
When you say photography, was he like taking pictures
He
of
was-
skateboarders?
all he
or
was
it-
doing-
or just skateboard.
No, all he was doing was taking photographs of skating, and he was really involved with just the up and coming skaters that were around.
Yeah.
There. He was really he was good friends with Mark Gonzalez, all those skaters. A lot of the early people that rode for Girl. He had a lot to do with Girl skateboards. I think actually he was like one of the founders. So him and I were friendly.
Is that the same as Get It Girl skateboards?
Just Girl.
Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Why don't you go get it, girl?
Why would anybody respond to that?
I tried
That's
to-
just one of those things where you just let someone talk until they stop talking, and then you go back to your conversation.
I'm in love with you.
Now, do you guys do the podcast always together with this type of energy? Is this is the vibe?
This is
right?
this is all
I
this
thought
is.
when I listened that it maybe was like a one-time thing. It's really the vibe.
This is it the whole time.
Does it ever come fist to cuffs? Like, do you guys jump on the bed together?
Not yet.
No.
Well, I mean, not to fight.
Yeah, we like to hop on the bed and
Wrestle
in
your
our
bro.
tidy whities, just
Yeah.
jumping up and down.
Wrestle each other into a
Pillow fights.
69.
we do have we have pillow fights that we videotape. We just haven't put them up yet.
We're actually starting a video blog, I guess, called Pillow Fights with Bros.
How much do you think we would get if we auctioned off? Like, how much would you accept in cash to have a pillow fight and film it?
in our tidy
In our
whities?
tidy whities.
Like $40.
We could do better than that. We get at least 120.
I think if you were both in the BVDs and you were throwing down on the bed, you would get a few views, but if you inserted hot chick, maybe refereeing. That's where it goes to the next level.
We never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's how we think. We don't even think about that. We're like, nah, it'd be good enough with just me and you and our tidy whities.
Well, that's why we've done as well as we have.
Do you own any tidy whities?
No, I own the boxer briefs.
I'm a boxer briefs.
And then I own boxers. I own a lot of pair of boxers. I like the old school. I like to
But
go
no,
boxer.
no tidy white. You don't even have a pair.
I don't think I do.
Just in case.
No, not a pair.
Just in
I'd
case.
have to buy them, and
Just
I
in
wouldn't even know
case.
where to get them.
But just in case.
I don't know.
In case,
For pillow
in case
fights,
a situation comes
like a
for it.
situation breaks out, you need to be in a pair of them.
Yeah, someone's like, hey, get your tidy whities and get out
Well,
here.
I mean, like that's what I'd wear for a suicide, no doubt. Like if I was going to do a suicide
Yeah.
where I knew I was going to shit afterwards.
Why?
Well, because
Why
everybody
is it though?
evacuates when they die,
Yeah,
Question.
but put on some diapers.
Question though, why?
or
that's
do an
what-
enema before.
That's what I've always tripped out on.
Oh, that's for anal sex.
Whenever anyone kills themselves, a lot of times they're naked. I don't know if I can off myself in the nude.
Why do you think they do that?
I don't know. That's a common thing.
I-
A lot
I-
of people shave. They shave, they shower, boom.
Yeah, there was a guy
I-
who lived near my grandparents when I was a
Oh,
kid.
you've
who-
seen that old thing? Yeah, that old
who,
slogan: shave, shower, shotgun.
There was a guy who put on his older guy, like 60, put on, took a shower, shaved,
Put a nice suit
put on
on.
his cologne, did his hair, put on a nice suit, walked out in the front yard and shot himself.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
I mean, but that's one way to go. I mean, the thing
But
is
it's
about
weird. It's
that
like
is
the one
like-
time you do something right in your life and it's a suicide. Like I haven't committed to anything in my life, but I'm going to commit to this.
I got up early.
Cobain stayed dressed.
I got up early. I shaved. I showered. Do
Do you remember that famous picture of Cobain?
I hated that photo. I didn't
when
want
you
to
saw
talk
it from
about
a crowd.
I hate it. And it had a Converse one. We had the Converse One Stars on. It was terrible. It was a bum out.
If I kill,
Yeah,
hated it.
Here's why I'm not in advertising. I called Converse and I said you could just put he took his to heaven, and I didn't get a letter back.
I don't remember who did this, but there was a guy when we were at Cobb's, Young Comics, when Cobain killed himself, and he walked in and he goes, "Check this out," and he puts down the mortician's photo of just his head, which is now just a hole.
Do you want me to tell you who that was?
Who?
Because it wasn't a young comic.
We were there together.
Yes, we
right?
were there together.
It was us at a table.
Yeah, and
Was it Tom?
Dana Gould.
Dana, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's a fucking ghoul, is what
I was
he
like,
is.
dude, why would you? I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what it's like listening to Dana's podcast.
That's the end result of it. Wow,
Yeah.
that's terrible, man.
Which, by the way, you were on and you talked about something that I was like, how the fuck could you not bring that to me? I can't remember what it is now, but
when you say the photograph, do you mean the photograph that the mortician took?
Yes.
Like, how
Someone
did that
got a
even
hold of it.
come out?
When,
know,
okay,
people
so
get a hold of that shit.
when you die, no matter what, they have to try and revive you. They
Okay.
have to.
Okay.
So they put a tube into where his mouth
Yeah.
was.
Oh.
Well, it just looked like you would put a tube in some red pudding.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's what it looked like. And then they have to take a picture to prove that they tried to revive him.
God, that's
If
And then they have
I-
to put it on the internet because that's how we are as a
society,
group
yeah.
of people. Yeah.
There wasn't internet back then. It was just
Yes, it was.
Dana just got a.
No, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
No.
Dana went out. It was like 90.
That was.
There was no
4 or 5?
internet.
There's no
then?
internet now.
No, I
Not
guess
not
you're right.
not on the level
not
you could get a
on the
picture.
level we are now. I remember I was working at.
But this was
ASCAP.
after. This was ways after. This was like.
Oh, it was.
This was
Oh, ways after
this
that he
was-
showed up with the
With the photo,
photo.
yeah. It wasn't like it
Oh.
wasn't. It was.
I
It
feel
was.
like it was before I went to New York, which would be 95.
But if it was Dana, I really feel like it was that New
I
Year's
feel like
Eve
it
where
was-
I was working when I lost my mind and
I
started
would
crying.
have never been there on New Year's Eve, but I feel like it was before Cobain killed himself, which is how
Well, that's
amazing
the weird
Dana
part. Well,
is
that's
at-
also Cobain used to party that hard.
If I
He would
killed
party-
myself,
he would party like he blew his own head off.
if I killed myself, I would get a really thick carrot. I'd take off all my clothes and get a thick carrot, and I'd put it in my ass, and I'd just scribble a really hasty note that said I can't get it out, and then they'd find me.
Oh my God! I would just drown myself in a tub full of chocolate
Okay,
pudding.
wait. Let me throw out one suicide idea that I had. Just throwing this out
put it
there.
out there.
No idea is a bad
Let
idea.
the people know.
3 friends hanging out together.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure,
check
sure,
it. 3
sure.
friends hanging out on the internet. Okay, check this out. Imagine this. You're staying in a room, the two of you, right?
Yep.
You're staying in the room, Greg, and you're like, I'm out of here. It's a done deal, right? You get an old cassette player, right? Cassette, and you have the cassette player, and you set it by the window. And Dave walks in. Hey, man, are you ready to go? You go, no. And there's a note next to the cassette player that says, play this. You jump out the window. Dave goes, what the fuck? You have flown out the window. He's screaming. He sees you go down.
I
He
don't know
looks,
if I'd
what
be
the fuck?
screaming.
He looks down, says, play this, pushes play. It's your voice going, how fucked up was that? So now, all for a joke. Did it look as gnarly as it felt? There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one, right?
Shit,
That's
you
a-
got to put an R by that and register it. Because
That's a great one, right? Like I thought about,
it.
like if you really wanted to fuck with someone, like you're like your wife's just up your ass. You're like, oh, really? We're on vacation. Now with the computer, you could do a little video. You could be like, it's a screen that's empty, and she comes in, and you're like, oh, really? Hey, check this out, babe. Out the window, suddenly the video starts. Yeah, you fucking bitch made me do that. Check
I'm
that
sure
out.
that's happened.
Has that happened?
Yeah, I'm sure that's happened.
That there's been somebody like with a tape
Let's
recorder.
kill
Hey,
himself
get-
and put like a recording. Of
But I want
did
it-
this because of you. And
No, but I want it. I want the.
I love the
It's
idea,
got to
though,
start.
like
It's the.
how about this,
Yeah, that's
Here's what I-
bro? Did I make it?
No.
Did I
Did
pull?
I make it?
Did I pull
make
it?
Did I make it?
I just put I just
Or this? Does it look as bad? Does it look that bad?
I just say hey girl. That's it. Just hey girl.
What if you just said Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall?
Oh, that's too literal. It's
Is it?
too-
Is that too
yeah.
literal? Too much?
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Plus,
that-
also, my guess is that Humpty Dumpty it's owned, so you'd have to pay for the rights.
So Spike Jones. So you guys are.
So okay,
So
here we go.
he's taking pictures, and you guys.
He's
are
taking
doing-
pictures. We're skating together, and we're young. And he starts doing videos for us. A lot of skateboard.
Did you have
companies.
Did your band have a deal with like?
The reason that Spike did the video is because when we were on Caroline, he did our first video. There's this video that he did for this song called Hush, and that was his first video that he did outside of skateboarding. It was
Yeah.
in Chicago, and we were all hanging out together, and it was and that was also the night that like the whole Jackass stunt thing kind of erupted because we were in Chicago, we were all drinking together, and they at the bar that night started doing stunts where they were like lighting things on fire, and then later on that night we were going from one bar to another, and Spike and a couple of guys in Wax had the smart idea that when you're going down State Street at 35 miles an hour in a cab, why don't we open the door and roll out of it in front of the bar? And one guy made it, Spike didn't, hit his head, went to the hospital. So while he's shooting the first music video he's ever going to shoot, I have photos of him and he has a huge bandage around his head, and we're at the shoot, and this was for the first
That's a
video
really
that we did.
bad idea.
Yeah, really bad idea. But they were
Yeah.
really into stunts. They were
Yeah.
into stunts. I never got into that. The drummer of Wax later on was one of the main guys, not one of the main guys, but in Jackass. And, he got messed up.
Just
Loomis.
quickly,
He was in.
He's one of the Jackass guys. He's actually in the last movie, and he's the guy, Loomis. He was the guy that got in the movie before. He was out on the ice with the Russian hockey team player,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
guy just plowed him into the walls. That was reconstructive surgery for his entire face,
What?
basically.
Really?
Then he came back to do another stunt where they put him behind this. And this guy, just so you know, Loomis.
This is the drummer in your band.
Drummer?
So here,
Loomis.
just if you want
Amazing guy. Loomis Fall.
If you pause this and you go to YouTube, get Wax on the Jon Stewart show, and you get a look at the whole band, because you guys had fucking. They were like characters. Like you guys weren't just a punk band. Like there's the guy that's got the newsy cap on and the pants that are too
yeah,
short.
we definitely had it. We definitely.
And
I always
there's
used to
then
say
the guy
each
in the
guy.
suit. One guy's like a ska guy, and then the drummer is like a fucking Rastafari. Like he's got dreads in his beard and a cap and the long johns under his shorts. Yeah, and then fucking Joe's
Does
just.
he have
Joe's just
he has white dreadlock guy?
No,
or
just
black
like
dreadlock guy?
no, it's like he's a white guy with like dreads in his beard.
his beard?
Beads in the
Oh, I
beard.
disagree with that.
Disagree with
I'm
that?
very much. I'm very.
I don't understand
I'm
what you
very
disagree.
against
I don't know
what's
how you
happening right
disagree
now.
with that. It already happened.
No, but
You don't like it as a.
Yeah, but if they ever invent a time machine, I travel back in time and I
Right.
just walk up to him with the scissors and I just snip him.
Well, then I'm not going to show you my sack because what I have down here are beads and coins. My balls.
No one's listening to you.
My balls look like Keith Richards' head. Like I've done my balls. There's a bandana around them, and then I hang dangly shit. I jingle when I walk.
I mean,
I
yeah.
jingle.
Go ahead, keep
I
going.
jingle when
No,
I
it's all
walk.
yours. The floor is yours.
If I split and come back, when would that be?
Plus,
I don't think you can ever clean off enough, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Like you can never get clean enough.
Got it.
and my balls smell like Marin.
The television show or the guy?
The guy.
Okay.
Not the show.
I mean, that's upsetting, and now people are going to tweet that, and then now it's going to be a war. I'm going to hear about it in the writers'
It'll
room.
probably help us with our numbers.
Nothing will help us with our numbers.
Not even Sib.
No, he
No,
might. Yeah,
he
I
might.
Think he
No,
will.
no,
I
no.
think he will. Do you have a podcast?
I have a podcast, but
He's got a really killer radio show called Complete Control Radio. It's the best punk rock radio show ever. It's
Thanks.
so fucking good.
Do you-
It's on Sunday nights. It's syndicated.
Do you have bands come in and play, or is it
We
just
do, we do. We've done a lot of acoustic stuff. A lot of times, what the show like started out as similar to this, just in a room playing music and getting trying to play as many songs as I could in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then started getting more and more guests in there, and we're starting our 10th year, and
Wow.
we're on in LA on 98.7 every Sunday night, and then the show's on in Denver, it's on in Portland, it's on in Austin, and
It's good though. Like
fun to do.
even if you're not like a hardcore punk rock fan, like the way the mix is, it's wildly entertaining. They play, it's fucking across the board. It's great.
As much as it like
old punk, new punk, but
Are you friends with Jonah Ray at all?
I love Jonah Ray.
Yeah, you guys seem like you guys would.
Jonah Ray,
talk
I
a lot.
actually Jonah came on the show a while ago, and him and I have a lot of mutual friends in common, and
Yeah.
he used to work at a record store that I knew the owners at. Benway bought records out in Venice, so he worked with them, and a lot of he's music head, man. He's turned me on to music. And funny guy,
yeah.
smart, love him.
Yeah. Okay, so the drummer is in Jackass.
He's part of Jackass crew, and what ended up happening though, it's sad though. This is kind of sad because when we were in our band, so we're in our band, and what ended up happening was when we made our first record, Spike, we were on Caroline. Spike did our video.
Yeah.
The important part is that's his first music video.
and it's an amazing video.
And it's no. Rewind. The video that he did with us, where he hits his head, that's not an amazing video. That's an okay
I
video.
thought
It's
you were
fun though.
talking-
Go and check it out. Hush, Wax. It's super fun because you get to see Spike Jonze. It's his first music video.
Yeah.
After that, we continue on our merry world of being in Wax. We make our second record and we get dropped. It's done for us. It's over.
Holy
Band
shit.
over, dude.
Yeah.
Talk about
That's
what I
cool.
just described about jumping out the window with the player. That was the only time in my life, and it's so silly and so stupid that I even thought about it. It's the only time in my life because I was so devastated and so heartbroken that we got dropped and that our career was done.
Yeah.
That I thought I'm gonna you're young, you're 27, you're like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. That's stupid.
Were you guys?
We were on our way. We had just
Were you on your way?
Yeah,
You were
we were on our way.
very-
We were definitely,
yeah.
and what made it worse?
Well, that wouldn't have been a bad idea for you at 27.
I mean, I've thought about it every year. I mean,
Daily.
every year.
Daily.
Yeah.
It's going on right now.
Actually, what we do every week with this is get together and decide whether one of us is going to do it or not. I mean, this is the only thing keeping you and me alive.
But the thing that ended up happening was at that point Spike, he did the Breeders Cannonball video. It blew up. He went from that. He did Sonic Youth. He started working with Weezer. He started working with everyone, and then all of a sudden his video career just blew up, and he was doing so many amazing things. And the thing that was awesome, because this is the bro factor. We ran into each other, and he knew what was going on with the band. We'd made our
He
new
knew you
record.
had been dropped.
He knew that we had been dropped, and he said to me, he goes, "Hey man, if
Was
there's
the record out?
The record was not out. We made the
Fuck,
record.
you got dropped before it came
Dude,
out?
I'll never forget how we got dropped. We got dropped a week before Thanksgiving, which if you're, a young kid in your band, you're
Yeah.
flying home to see your parents, and the first question
you
out of their
see all
mouth
your
is,
friends.
"Hey, what's going on with the
Yeah,
band, son?
fuck,
Your
yeah.
friends, you're at the local bar. What's going on with your band?"
Yeah.
"Oh, they just dropped us,
Yeah.
And at that point, it was a lot different. It wasn't like today where you have
No, you get
everyone's
dropped,
got
you're fucked.
Yeah, everyone has an independent label. Everyone has the internet. That's
Right.
not going on.
Yeah,
This
people
is like,
people really don't even know if you're on a label anymore. People don't give a shit.
Really?
Really,
They don't care. No, the
They
label
don't.
thing's over. It's everyone.
And that's
puts out a
not.
record.
I'm not putting it on your
No,
label,
no,
by the
no,
way.
no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when it was just all gatekeepers.
Yeah,
the
it was
gatekeeper
all
said no. and you
gatekeepers.
were
Gatekeepers
done.
said no, you were done.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure it was even the same way with comedy back then. Like
Yes.
if you didn't have the manager, you didn't know so and so at the punchline,
Totally.
you are not performing.
Completely.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Set up at the show, coffee shop, YouTube views, you're on the Tonight Show. It's like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
happening.
Although that was a bad ending.
You're really okay.
Getting onto the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Where should we go? Where do we go?
Conan probably better.
Conan,
or
okay.
Letterman.
Okay,
Yeah.
Conan, Letterman.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's do that.
Or get invited to a festival at this
Or a
point,
festival,
or
yeah.
or get
Or you
on
get invited
on
to
Nerd-
walk in the room.
or
You get invited to
yeah,
rock- I
or a
think-
better
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Nerdist,
Yeah.
Pete Holmes,
Yeah.
Marin.
Yeah.
One that hasn't started yet that'll next week trump us in some way.
Suckerman's. Yeah.
Blowhard Theater.
Blowhard Theater's good.
Yeah.
So okay, so you go, but yeah, that's a bummer. Like getting dropped before any holiday is bullshit.
Yeah.
Just wait until after the fucking. That's almost like hey, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Were you guys being a problem?
No,
Dicks?
not at all. We were too cool. That was our problem. We were too
That
Like,
sounds really suspicious.
no, I'm no. That was our. I know the reason why.
What do you
we
mean
got
too
dropped.
cool? What do you mean by that?
No,
Like,
I
you
mean
were-
like no. I'm just saying. I'm making a joke in the sense of like, we were never. Our band wasn't a hassle. What our band did, we made it. This is the deal. We turned in a record. We made a record with. I remember we made it with Paul Coldry and Sean Slade, who had just produced Pablo Honey, Radiohead.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. We worked with them. They had also, but they'd done that record. But we also loved the fact they were from Boston. They'd worked with the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the Lemonheads, all of the major bands out of Boston. So when we made our record with them, what ended up happening is we turned in our record, and you got to remember at this point in music, this is 94, and what's
shit.
popular,
All right,
Smashing
yeah.
Pumpkins. What's popular is
Yeah.
Pearl Jam. And as Greg mentioned, we don't look like that. We didn't sound like that. So, out of defense to the label, which is true, we didn't fit in any box. Like, they were like, these guys are playing like little punk rock fast songs.
Yeah,
that
no,
are
it was
2
the
minutes.
time when music really, that was like
Green
the
Day
big
hadn't happened
change
yet.
in
It was
music.
It was
pre-Green Day. It was
pre-Rancid.
pre-Offspring. All of that.
all that shit.
And all those guys,
Yeah.
but we were doing shows with all those bands.
But
So then this
here-
is what made it. This is the part that made it the hardest thing was. So we get dropped, right? And then what happens a year later?
It hits.
Offspring explodes.
Oh,
Green Day
God.
explodes.
Right.
All those bands are like, what's up with Wax? And we were just sitting there. And this is where Spike did a solid. He said, look. If I could ever do anything, I'll shoot a video, anything you need to do. And I was like, okay. And we kept working it, and then we had the miracle convergence, just good karma come our way, where we were on tour. Wax is on tour. I put the record out myself. I'm making the copies myself.
Really?
We're literally went and
Yeah,
made
yeah,
1,000
are
of
you
them.
taking
We
them to
load-
record stores and being like,
dude,
sell
I
them?
rented a van
Holy
and
shit.
drove them
No, this
around
guy-
myself.
yeah,
I drove them around
Really?
myself, and I'm going around and I'm telling the record stores, just take them. Like, don't even pay
You're
me.
like the first podcast.
I'm there. Yeah.
But he's literally like, the thing you have to know about Sib is I will not be denied in the nicest way. He's not going to be a
No,
dick
that's
to you,
good.
but he will not be denied.
It's the complete opposite of I created a castle made out of whining.
It's kind of true. During the same time period.
Yeah, I was creating people.
Yeah.
You'd be like in your van selling records, and I'm like, check out my screams.
Fuck
that guy.
I love the term "castle of whinings."
Yeah.
but the thing was with that we at that point it was all we could do, and I remember we were driving around and we got this tour because I'm like, we're
And
gonna
where are you
release-
getting the money from to make the
this
records?
This is crazy, and Greg will like this because his dad and my dad know each other. What happened was, I went back to Virgin and I said to the president of Virgin, I went in there and I had an idea. I was going to go down to Virgin and just write "fuck you" on their
Sure,
wall. I was going to
yeah.
spray paint wax, and I told my dad, I'm going to fucking. I took a road trip
It's
with my dad.
hilarious that you told your dad.
Well, no, I took a road trip to Chicago with my dad. It was one of those
Yeah.
moments where my dad knew I was. He goes, "Hey, I'm moving to Chicago. Roll out with me, and I'll fly you back."
Yeah.
And it was a great road trip because I remember we were driving out from San Francisco, and we hit Reno. And my dad loves, he loves, playing the cards and hanging out. And I remember we got there, and at this point, I'm about 20. I'm 24.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the first time that, like, we were, I moved out when I was 18. It was the first time, like, I drank beers around my dad, but we're in Vegas. I'm 24. I'm like, I got some Heinekens rolling. I'm
Yeah.
smoking, and he's like, "Wow, you really like the beers, like." And he's like, "They're free." He loved it.
They're
It's free.
free.
Have as many as you want. And we're playing cards together. And I remember it was that time where like we're in the hotel.
cut to you guys in a whorehouse,
No, yeah.
high fiving.
Yeah,
No, but it
you're in
was
front of a
the-
liquor store. He's got a gun.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. My dad loves to do crazy shit.
Yeah. But it was one of those moments where like
Just curbing guys.
My whore isn't actually a girl. It's a good night.
it was one of those moments though where like we definitely had that next level of father son, and I told him all the shit that I was bummed about. I was like, this label fucked me, that blah blah blah. And then he just went for like, look, all I know is this: we've been in the car together for 3 days, and we turn on the radio, and every band that comes on the radio, you either know or you've
Yeah.
toured with or you've done something with or you know the guitar. So he goes, Joe, here's the deal: it's a matter of time before you get your shot. And I was like, you don't even. I'm like, Dad, what are
you
you
thought
talking?
you already had your
I'm like,
shot.
Dad, what are you talking about? I'm a done deal. I'm done. And he's like, Joe, I'm telling you right now, you're not done. And I was like, I was convinced we were. So I ended up saying, I said, look, I got to put this record out myself. And we started talking about it. And he goes, and I said, look, I'm gonna start a record company. And he said, really? And it was the first time I remember, like, we
Were
really
you drunk
had,
at this point?
No, we were sober. We're in the car with coffee.
Did you literally think you could do this, or were you?
Well,
just
you know what it was?
talking?
I'd grown up with putting records out, 45s and 7 inches since I was a little kid in San Jose, and that was just what you did. I thought everyone put out a 7-inch. I thought everyone had a fanzine. I just grew up with kids in San Jose that were doing that in the punk rock scene.
It's so weird.
I
thought everyone just said like "fuck you" and went off into a corner.
well,
Yes, exactly.
I didn't realize that until I met people that's generally what people do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Outside of the little world.
When
grew
I
up
met
in.
Dave, just for your edification, and I was a fan. I saw him do one set, and I'm like, I love this guy. I'm going to help him out. He was already over show business, and he'd only been in it for about 15 minutes. I still love him. We have the same relationship we've always had, but
He was already
the guy-
over it.
He was just already
I
"Fuck
could
this
have
guy."
ended my first set by going, "Well, this is fucking bullshit."
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to end your set. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. I call bullshit on this. I'm out. And people will be like, is that true?
Yeah.
But the thing was, just to end that story, is that I had a conversation with my dad, and then I said, I'm going to start a record company, and I'd put together, and he said, okay, if you really are serious about doing that, let's talk, I'd like to help you. And 3 months later, I went to San Francisco, sat down with him, and I said, look, I'm going to do this. And I literally had to have a meeting with him because, he was like, I'm not parting with anything until you let me know what's up. And I said, look, and I remember I came
So you had
up,
to give him a business plan, the whole deal.
business plan, whole fucking thing, and it was for $5,000. And at that point, it was like
shit.
it was like
That's a lot of
asking
money.
him. It was like asking him. At that point,
It
it
is a
felt
lot
like
of money, but-
it was $500,000. It felt
Yeah.
like $5 million. I'd never had $5,000.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and he said, "Look, I'm gonna make one deal with you. First of all, you're gonna pay me back this money. That's the first thing
Burn the videos from Reno.
from Reno. Second thing is, don't ever bring up Reno.
Here's the thing, Dad. I realize how much money I can get, as much as I want. You remember Kevin or Marcy?
Yeah."
So we have a videotape.
And then
cassette.
the second thing he said to me was, he said, I'll only loan you the money on one condition, that no matter what happens with your band, no matter what happens moving forward, you have to keep the record company going. That was his,
Wow.
that was
All
his
right.
only other.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? And he's all, because A, that's what you're really good at. Like, I know you think you're a
Yeah.
good singer. I know you think you're the front man. That's cool. But what you're really good at is getting people and, promoting and going out
Yeah.
and doing that. And I see that. I know you don't want to be that guy, but that's what you're good at. I know you don't want to admit it. And I was like, oh, no, I'm Eddie Vedder. I'm this, I'm that. And he's like, no, that's cool. I don't know who those people are, but I think you're really good at getting shit to happen. And he said, this way, no one, and this was the thing, no one will ever control your destiny again.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking rad. Like,
It is.
I never heard that before.
It's
I was
fucking
like,
really
so
rad.
yeah, he's right. Like, and that was it. And so I paid him back the $5,000, and we've been a company. We're starting our 19th year.
So what
That's
happened?
like our story, right?
Yeah.
That's like our
my
thing
dad-
with this
Did you
stuff
borrow
working out.
$5,000 from my dad?
I did. I also went to Reno with you.
You haven't paid him
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
He told you don't do stand up anymore. You've done that. Second
Yeah.
rule broken.
Yeah, look,
pay me
yeah.
back the money.
Yeah, pay the money.
Your dad told me to just buy Crack and Horse
Yeah.
with the $5,000. He goes, "That's your thing.
That's your thing.
the
That's what you're good at. You're not funny.
It's no stand up."
So,
No,
so
not
it,
great.
just ended up that he was very
so what
influential.
happened when you went into Virgin? So
No, we went back to to get the record back. The other
you have to
thing
get
was
the record
I had to get the record back.
So they passed on it, but they were still holding on to it.
You know
God,
what?
I love when they fucking
yeah,
do that.
they passed on it. They held on to it. But I will say this: Phil Cordero, president of Virgin Records at that time, real music head. I mean, they don't make guys like this anymore.
Yeah.
He was the promotions guy at Island. He he worked with every band that all of us loved, from U2. I mean, just everybody. Really great guy. He at that point, of course, he was the president of Virgin. And I went into his office, and I remember I finally got a meeting with him, and I just said straight up to him, I said, Phil, I'm 25 years old. You signed my band. My life's a nightmare right now. Just give me back my record. And he's like, well, Joe, you got to understand, there's money. We've spent money on it. I can't
Yeah,
just
but what
give
are
you
they gonna-
back.
if they're not
But that's
gonna
what I said.
put
I
it
go, if you're
out-
not going to put it out, it's just going to sit in the warehouse.
Right.
Give me back my record. And I had a whole a release set up that all he had to do was sign it. And I'll never forget. He goes. He looks at me and he goes, you know what? I'm crazy for doing this, but you know what? You're right. And I've never even done this. I'm probably gonna, I'll get, this is something that could come back and haunt me. And he signed it. I remember I went to Virgin in my Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah.
And I go in there, and it's in this like state of the art, like, the air has to be a certain level because it's all the masters. And I
Yeah.
remember I'll never forget this. Some old man's like, He's like, all right, yeah, all right, you know what you're looking for. Go find it. And I gave me a shopping cart. And I'm going down.
I would have come out and there was so much shit.
Dude, it was crazy. I'll never forget this. At that point, I hated the Smashing Pumpkins because they were huge and I was jealous and bitter. And I saw their masters. I'm like, I'm going to destroy those. That's the first thing. And then as I kept going down, I saw Janet Jackson's masters. I saw like, wow, this is cool. And then I went over to the W's and there it was. All of our masters. I loaded them in this shopping cart, put them in my Bug. The Bug like was, the tires were rubbing because all the masters, you know, it's back. It's, you know,
that heavy?
Yeah, it's huge 2-inch tape. It was all on tape. It's not digital. Here's the file. I'll you know send it over to you. Went over there and I remember I get the masters and I'm like, and I came back to my apartment and my girlfriend, now wife's like, holy shit, you really got him. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, so now what do we do? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, we got to make.
Let's go rob a bank.
Let's do what the replacements did and throw them in the water.
Yeah.
Why? That's dumb.
Yeah. No, this record's good. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It was. No. It's crazy. But the thing that it all comes to a head is. Now the record's out and I have my little label and I'm learning like, wow, this really
and
is
this
hard.
is side one dummy.
This is it's side one at this point. I'm like, God, this is fucking hard work, man. We're going to the stores, you know, distribution. I'm going back and
And the
forth.
stores, it's not like Amoeba. The stores
No,
are like,
dude, the stores, you're begging people to bring it in and it's, you know, and it was a little bit easier in the sense that there was
'Cause
a lot of stores that would.
there were a lot of stores,
Yeah.
and also you guys did have a.
Yeah, and we had a fan
people
base.
knew who
No,
you were.
here in LA, we had a fan base. But the thing
So
was,
they already produced the record? Do you have to, or do you have
no,
to
we had a manufacturer and everything. We had a
everything?
manufacturer and everything. I did a little P&D deal with a label out of San Diego called Cargo. They made it for me.
yeah, I remember Cargo.
They were cool, yeah, and that was cool. And then what ended up happening though was I go, yeah, you know, now our record's out. It's time to go on tour. Now, mind you, the other guys in the band, you know, the guitar player Soda, Dave, the bass player, and Loomis. You know, they weren't, you know, I don't want to say they weren't as DIY as me, but, you know, we'd already been on Caroline. We'd already been on 120 Minutes. We'd already been on, you know, we'd made a video. We'd already, you know, they'd felt a progression. So now all of a sudden we're back in this van and we're doing these shows and it's small. And
That's hard.
It's hard to go back, right?
I mean, I don't know about going back because that's my whole career, but I can imagine the pain.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like what we're doing now. We're just in a.
Well, no, you know this very well.
Yes,
you,
I do.
You can speak to this.
do.
And looking
Yeah,
back on
totally.
it, looking back on it, I you know, I remember the only way I can describe it is that we're in this van and we're playing these shows with these bands. And I remember we had a show in I want to say Little Rock, Arkansas, and it was at this punk house, and it's like literally it's a Victorian house, and there's probably 25 kids living in there, you know, 3 to each room, and it's this huge house, and you pull up there, and I remember we pull up, and they walk us in, and they take us into this dining room that probably in the day was just, you know, awesome, but what it is now is they've put a stage in there, there's a PA,
Oh my God.
and it's amazing, and you're
Fuck,
like,
I
wow,
wanna
but
play that place.
it's punk as fuck. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa. And I remember, you know, they're like, hey, you know, so I'm like, so, you know, where do we stay? And they're like, oh, you know, they got a room upstairs. And it's like, you know, you take a shower, water hasn't drained in the shower in like years. It's
Yeah,
just, you know,
that
that type
sounds
of thing.
awful.
And it's snowing outside and it's cold. And I remember that
this a
night.
horror movie?
No. And that night, but check it out. That night, check it out.
That night, a bunch of dudes in cat masks around the house with the shotguns.
That night, a bunch of punkers show up and it's packed. And I'm like, this is awesome, and we're selling our CD and we're doing everything. And the way the night ends, though, is it was so cold that the bass, you know, Loomis and Soda are in the van, and they're sleeping in the van, and they're turning the van on to heat it up and then turn it off because they're doing that. And then me and Dave are asleep in the room that we just played because there was a fireplace. And I remember. I didn't even notice it then, but because the story at the time, I knew that the band, it was done. I was holding the band together with
You
duct
could
tape.
tell from that
and
night,
Dave said,
from the
that night it was done. Those guys were just like, dude, we didn't sign up for this. This isn't
You
fun
did
anymore.
sign up for this, motherfucker.
Well,
you're in a fucking punk band. That's exactly what you signed
Here's
up
how
for.
fucked up
You're
I am.
lucky you're not. Someone's not cutting
how-
you open and sleeping inside of you.
Here's how fucked up I am and why it's such a bummer for my wife to be married to me. That
oh, there's
sounds
so many reasons.
awesome.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'm like,
I'm the
I
same
just
way as
wanna-
you.
I just want to play so bad. The
Oh,
idea
no.
of going to a place and there's a fucking house full of people.
I can't even
Have you
stay.
read- have
I
you-
can't even stay in a Ramada anymore
Yeah.
without feeling bummed.
Dude, I was at the height of my career. You couldn't have me unless you flew me first class. I got to stay in a 5-star
First
hotel.
class.
Yeah, first class.
With the band. That's amazing.
That's super.
Like, not even first class, like Crass has, the punk band Crass has to come with
well,
them.
no, but there was a moment where you know your managers and your agents can go, oh no, well, let us do this.
Yeah.
You're flying this.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
get them for this. You get this
Yeah.
much money.
God.
Now it's literally back to is this a plane ticket? No, dude, that's a bus ticket.
You can pay me in chicken. Yeah.
No,
You
it's
pay me
like
chicken.
I can go, but it's 3 flights, and one of them's economy, and then there's a short bus ride. Like,
Well, the shows that we did together, it was like I got a call. Joe's driving you.
right.
You were like, who's Joe?
Who's Joe, man? Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I think it's like it's a thing of like, yeah, it's hard. It is a little bit hard to go back unless it's just something you absolutely fucking adore.
The thing
You
is,
know?
though, that have you ever read Get in the Van, Henry Rollins?
No,
Okay,
I know it.
I had read Get in the Van.
Right.
I had heard the story.
No, I did read Get in the Van.
Get in the
Yes, I
Van.
did.
Like
Yes,
I was
yeah.
the guy that read. Everyone else reads Get in the Van, and they're like, "Wow, this is a nightmare.
No.
Why would you want to do it?" The movie Another State of Mind.
Have you read Get in the Hummer by Puddle of Mud?
Get in the tour bus.
No, their book
Get
was
in the
called-
stretch Hummer.
I think they actually had a little bit of trouble because I think their book was called "Get in There, Bitch," and I think there might have been a little problem with Puddle of Mud.
I saw the documentary Another State of Mind, which I highly recommend to everyone that's listening. If you haven't seen it, it's the story of the first United States tour of Social Distortion.
I just watched it.
Yeah,
I just watched it.
And the way that movie ends is they're pushing a broken down bus. And I remember being 15 with all my friends. We saw it at the Camden Street Cinema in San Jose, and everyone walked out going. All the band members that we grew, all the kids that were like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And then we walked in. They all walked out going, "God, man, what a nightmare!" And I'm like, "I want to do that."
No, I watched it the other day. They're spray painting their own fucking
Yeah.
posters,
Dyeing
and
their
it's-
hair in the bathroom. Yeah, I loved it.
Mike Ness, it's fucking fantastic. Mike Ness is 17, 18 years old,
Acne.
and he's putting fucking eye makeup on, and he goes, "I like to do this. A lot of guys think this is gay. Gives a shit. I like to do this because it makes me look sympathetic. What I do is I put the black in and then I smear it so it looks like I've been crying, and girls go crazy for that shit. And then I put he's explaining why he's glamming himself out, and he's 17 years old, and it's so cool because now he's turned into such a fucking thug. He's got no hair and he's a fucking tatted, but he was just like this little glam rock punker, and then he's wrapped himself in like half mummy out, like it's crazy good.
So
I will say though about Mike Ness, only because like Social Distortion, definitely like one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah.
And as tough as Mike looks, and as tough as Mike is,
Yeah.
one of the sweetest guys
Yeah.
ever. And I heard crazy story. This is a crazy story that I heard.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there. A few years ago, someone is calling him out at a show. Like out in front while he's playing, and he calls a guy out.
a guy goes to a show and wants to fight him.
But check this out, because he gets that all the time. People want to fight Mike Ness, and I guess that Mike Ness can throw down too.
Why do they want to fight him?
Because he's a big guy. He's like it's like Henry Rollins. People want to be the guy that fights Henry Rollins. People want to be the guy
What
that
the fuck
fights.
is wrong with people?
Because guys, those people are just crazy. But this is the crazy story that I heard. I heard that Mike Ness said, "Dude, if you want to fight, meet me out front." After the show, Mike finishes the show. They meet in the back. They go and they fight at a gas station, like 50s style, like meeting on the Fullerton, blah blah. Mike
was there an orangutan there?
Clint Eastwood shows up. There's
Holy
peanuts everywhere,
shit.
and they got in a fight.
There's guys on bikes and shit.
Mike fought the guy and won.
Of course he did.
And after he fought him, and this is what I heard, he felt bad, and he said, "You know what, man? And the guy was like, "Yeah, like, I fucked up." And he gave the guy a ride home. He goes, "You know what? Let me give you a ride home."
And then they blew each other.
No.
The story gets better
It
and
keeps
better.
getting better.
Now they're living together.
I don't doubt that.
And they're
Yeah, I don't
fucking
doubt that.
bad.
I always think that. I think.
So let me say
He's
this.
also hardcore PETA.
totally.
Do you know that? And he loves to go antiquing. So you
Loves
never
antiquing.
The thing is, you just never know who
There's
people
shit
are.
You shouldn't say.
He loves to go antiquing.
You shouldn't say that
on a
shit.
Sunday.
I don't fucking want
He
to know
puts
that.
on-
I don't want to know that.
He rolls his jeans up. He puts on those velvet
How
slippers.
will you?
And then he looks at an
music
end
is
table.
not about how they look. God, I mean, the one thing you fucking we're talking about all this music stuff. The one thing you get excited about
Velvet
is that a
slippers.
dude put fucking black on his face.
Here's the thing.
and
Here's
glammed up.
my-
No,
here's-
fucking no.
Here's my.
God.
This is my credo. You ready? You ready?
No, I'm never going to be ready. Never for whatever this is. I've heard it. I dismiss it. It's wrong.
Chord poster show.
Cool.
You learn one chord, you make the poster, you do a show.
Okay, good.
That's how you do it.
So
Chord poster show.
So there's a bunch. So you're
And the
here's the
poster
thing, though.
is a
You're
variety
bunch
of
dudes.
fonts.
You're a bunch of dudes who are in their mid-20s.
At that point, yeah.
That you don't fucking say that. That's the age where you don't yet say no. This is too much.
I think
that's the age where you still fucking endure.
I
it.
think I think everyone just started getting burned out and everything.
I mean,
and at that
maybe-
point, we were literally sleeping on a
I'm-
couch that they were putting into the fireplace at the same time to keep the fire going.
But is this when the California?
True
Is this
story.
when the California?
No, what ended up happening? The whole none of the good stuff has even happened yet. We're pushing a couch, we're sleeping on the couch, and my bro says to me, "I'm done, dude. We can't do this anymore. I didn't sign up for this." And I go, "You know what? Fuck, I don't know what to do." Literally, the next day, pre-cell phones, pre any kind of communication with your girlfriend back home, pre-communication with anyone, you had to literally pull over, find a payphone. Hey, let's call our agent. Hey, let's call our chicks. I went over.
It's like living in medieval
I
times.
called literally.
Unbelievable.
I called my
and you
girlfriend.
could get syphilis from a phone.
I called
Those are the
my
good old
I
days.
called my girlfriend. She picks up the phone.
Was there-
What's going on? And I go. She's like, I've been trying to. No one will tell me where you're at. I'm like, what's up? She's like, trying to get a hold of you the last 3 days. I say, why? She's like, you'll never believe what happened. She's like, on Wednesday night, Scott from Stone Temple Pilots took over K-Rock, huge influential station in LA, and he took over the air. The Stone Temple Pilots were huge at that point.
Yeah.
And they took it over for the night, and he played Wax like 4 times.
Wow.
And he just kept talking about the band. We were friends from back in the day. He knew what had happened to our
Ugly
band.
Kid, when they were called.
When they were called
Mighty Joe Moon.
Young. Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when I met
And
him.
he worked at Wacko.
He was totally cool.
Yes.
We shared the same studio. We
Yeah.
did shows together.
Yeah.
And I remember this. When he got signed and we got signed to Caroline, they got signed to Atlantic. I remember we were both sitting in an airport flying home for that Thanksgiving. He was flying to where he lived. I was flying up north. And I remember we were having a drink together and he said, "Hey man, congratulations, you got signed." I go, "I know, you guys got signed too. This is great." And I was so excited. He goes, how do you think it's gonna be? He goes, "How do you think it's gonna go for Wax?" And I go, "Well, I hope it'll be good. We're writing, we're doing this." And I was just being me, like, I don't know, let's see what happens. And you know what happens. I say to him, "How do you think it's gonna go for Stone Temple Pilots?" And he looks me straight in the eye. "We're gonna be fucking huge." And I remember that was the last time I saw him until I hear him playing our band on the radio.
God.
We're driving across the country. All of a sudden, we're calling our friends. They're like, "Dude, you're on K-Rock. You're this." Boom, boom. By the time we got to LA, my girlfriend's like, "Joe, Jason Flom called you from Lava. Jimmy Iving's trying to get in touch with you from Interscope." And I'm like, "What?" We were so cold, and within a matter of hours, because things were different then. Within a matter of days, all of a sudden we were happening again. And you know how they used to
Do
always.
you remember when radio mattered?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like now,
And not just
Yeah.
radio, a radio station.
One station.
Yeah, K-Rock was massive.
This is like when Drew Carey went on the Tonight Show and did one set.
Yes.
And had a television show and had everything.
Yeah,
And here's the
Overnight.
crazy.
Well, it's like those books you read. The book, I'm Dying Up Here. Tom Dresden, all those guys. They'd all sit around, and if you were gonna get a shot with Johnny Carson, it was like you would get done with your set, and then it was almost the next day. Like, "Okay, we got an offer for you to do this.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it," and you're like, "What?" Nowadays, it's like it's just there's
And here's the bookend story to your Scott Weiland thing. And Amira was their product manager.
Are
My
you
wife.
serious?
Yes, she was their
Wow.
product manager, and so she knew him pre and post. She knew him pre and post Lollapalooza, because that's
Okay.
when it all
Yeah.
went bad,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they got together.
Yeah.
He's sitting on a field at Lollapalooza. One of the other acts, I won't say who it is because they told me the story and they may not want me to retell it. One of the other acts, one of the guitar players, one of the other bands, sits down with Scott and says, "Holy shit, dude, you guys are #1. That's fucking amazing, dude. Congratulations." And Scott turned to him and goes, "Everybody hates us."
yeah.
And he goes, "This guy's on the top of the world
Yeah.
in career-wise,
Yeah.
and he can't see past the fact that all of his peers, because if you remember
That first song, that first single,
It's all
sounded
very sort of-
exactly like Pearl Jam.
Yeah, it
So
did.
they
It
were
all- it
fucked.
was all-
Exactly.
That was the worst single to put
But
out.
what was amazing about that
I
band
never
was-
liked them. I never gave them a shot until years later. It's like, oh, they're fucking good.
Yeah, and now when you and now when you hear those songs, you're like, these are well written songs,
and they've sort of outlived it, and they had their own moments. They were finding their way. Interstate Love Songs, that's their own jam.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound
Yeah.
like anybody.
Yeah.
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 Plush sounded a little bit like Pearl Jam.
Yeah, yeah.
They had their moments. They're also incredible chameleons.
Yeah.
They would go on the road with a band like Red Cross, and then they record a sound they recorded the best Red Cross song ever.
That was one thing that Scott did with his vocals. He was able to take on a Bowie-esque. He was able to take on he had
could
that thing
just
with his
grab.
voice. He could go in any direction he really wanted. But you're absolutely right, and I think that's ultimately what fucked him up. Because the thing I love about the story of us at the airport, and some people might take that as like, well, man, how cocky can you be? And I never took it as that way. I was like, God, I wish I was that sure about something.
Right.
Like I really
There's
believe you need to
comedians
be that.
There's comedians I've known that have had that, and
Yeah.
they are big.
Yeah.
There's something about the thing I've never had in stand up, which other guys have. Like I'll take Zach as an example, because Zach and I were just even in New York. We were two guys who were there. that everyone
Galifianakis.
liked. Oh no, Greinke.
I just want to make sure that
I thought you meant the baseball.
listeners that you're not talking about.
I'm talking about the baseball
Zach, no,
player.
you're talking about Zach Wild, who you've been competitive with forever.
fuck that
He
guy.
plays guitar.
And
seriously,
And I
it's
thought
not.
it was
It's
Zach.
not anything
I thought
you
it was
do.
Zach from Killing in the Name of Rage Against the
Oh, yeah,
Machine.
yeah,
Zach
De La
De La
Rocha.
Rocha.
Yeah,
I mean,
you guys have
actually,
always
it's all
played
of them.
that.
When I say Zach, I mean all Zachs.
All Zach Ray from 7th grade,
Yes,
Good Shepherd, Santa
all
Cruz.
of them.
That's what I'm talking
I could have told you that if we had Sib on here, we would not be taking a break.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So
fine,
tell the
it's
story.
fine.
Go.
So we're on the same level, but he had that thing I didn't have, which is just pure confidence. Like, this is all going to fucking work. Where I'm just self-doubt and
I really
self-confidence
believe that has a lot-
undermining. But because there's dudes now who I see go on stage and their act isn't that good, but they're just exuding this confidence that makes the audience go with it.
And then sometimes, after a while, that person actually does become legitimate. Because what I was thinking about is when I first started doing the Bring the Rock shows, I used to talk a lot about Oasis because they were massive at that point, and they got a lot of shit for saying, we're going to be bigger than the Beatles.
Beatles.
And I was like, if when you start your band, you don't think you want to be bigger than
Yeah.
the Beatles, I don't want to fucking hear you. Like, you better start trying to be better than the Beatles.
I did a-
it's just
I did
absolutely
a-
that's the goal.
Absolutely.
And in a way, they were derivative, but at the end of the day, that's a band that's had some great songs.
I
They're
did
great band.
the BBC's doing a stand-up documentary, and they came to my house and interviewed me, and they were like, at one point they were like, so what do you think you're capable of? And I go, what do you mean? They go, what do you think you can do? I go, if I really applied myself, I could be one of the best stand-ups in the world. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, we all think that, or else you can't do it. You don't go in and go, man, I hope I'm fucking kind of good. Yeah. Like, you go in
Look,
thinking, I want to be one of the fucking best guys, and if I really try it, I bet I could be. I will always think that if I really fucking had the
Sure.
ability to sit down and
that
do
last-
it and try it and do it, I could do that.
That last article that I remember when Gerardo passed away, I was in Boston and I got doing a show, and someone comes in. We were doing a show, and the kid Dave Haas from The Loved Ones comes in. He's like, "Dude, you just hear Greg Gerardo died." I'm like, "What?" I was such a fan.
You were doing music or you were doing stand-up?
No, I was doing stand up.
Yeah. By the way, if you don't know this, by the way, Joe also does stand-up, and
Yes.
he's very good, and he just started,
it's about 3 years.
3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 3 years.
Because there's not enough pressure in his life running a record company.
Right. I mean, start
He's
stand
like-
up. Look, if everything's going well, definitely do the thing that'll make you not feel great.
Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah. What other slippery slope could I be in? The record industry?
Yeah.
I got an idea.
Yeah,
why,
I
don't you
know.
try, why don't you try and make clothes?
No, or no, not even that. Like you get in the music, but hey, I'm gonna be in a band. Okay, now I'm gonna start a record company, and okay, now I want to do stand up. Like, why couldn't it be like I want to be a plumber? Because that would be if
So
I would have learned
easy.
that, or electrician.
So easy.
I should have done that. Like,
I said that they fucking learn how to cut hair.
Exactly.
Heads aren't going away.
No.
They are.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. There's a whole new thing happening.
But the thing was, when I read the Greg Gerardo thing, this last article, I literally just read, and someone had given it to me, and it said what you were talking about. He said, I get these offers to write TV shows, anything I want to. If I want to throw a pilot out, everyone will listen to it. If I want to do this, if I want to do that. But what I really want to do is, I just want to just stand up and hang out with people after the show.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't, I should apply myself, but I'm not.
But he did.
But in his eyes, in this article
Yeah,
that I
I
read,
could see that.
he was saying, I could be doing it. Like, I know you
He
think
could be
I'm-
doing a lot better.
He was like, I could be
No,
doing a lot better. And
Geraldo, by the time he died, could have been like at the level Louis is or Burr is, but instead he was just a really capable stand-up.
Yeah.
But you could see if you go back and listen to his albums, because after he died, I went and listened to him back to back, and I was like, oh, he was getting to that place. He wasn't there yet, but he was getting to that place. You could see it all sort of
Midlife
coming
vices.
together. And
Midlife
then,
vices is like too.
why not just do some drugs in the hotel
New Jersey.
in fucking at the Stress
Stress
Factory. I
Factory.
mean,
Oh,
come
my
on.
God.
That's not a place to
But
die.
that's probably a place he did really well.
Oh yeah. That was definitely. It's not a bad club. It's not bad. It's just old. It's been there for a long time. So I mean, it's crazy that there's not a lot of dudes that don't. Like I'm probably just a puddle at that point. Like I don't. So you guys come back and you've sort of fucking. You've hit. Do you sign with another label and take off?
Well,
again?
we ended up doing. The thing that got us. The thing that we ended up doing was at that point we re-signed to Interscope, and
Yeah.
we did it. The record that I got for free from Virgin, Interscope ended up buying from me.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
Phil
yeah.
Cordero, I remember he came.
That's
and
the
he-
Virgin guy.
And the Virgin guy, and he said he came to one of our shows, and we were hanging out, and at this point where it's happening, and he says, it was a really uncomfortable week about 6 weeks ago. I go, why? And he goes, well, when you guys got added to K Rock, our radio programmer came in and said, we've got one on K Rock, and Phil had to say, not necessarily. Yeah. He thought that it happened, so.
But that's interesting. Do you think that would have happened if you were still on Virgin?
No.
Yeah, none of that would have happened.
No, because they were, when you lose your momentum at a label.
And it sounds like the other thing is like if the label passes on you and the other bands know about it. Scott may not do that. Scott may not.
No,
He's like, well, fuck it.
comics.
These
It's
guys.
just like comics.
Yeah.
It's like if someone, if Tosh says, I'm bringing out Kyle Kinane for, and everyone's like, who's this guy? And,
Yeah.
Or, Kyle Kinane, Patton, him telling
Yep.
you,
Totally.
Kyle tells that story, like, dude, Patton started talking about me, and then, the next, things started happening. I mean, there was a lot happening for Kyle, but it was, next thing. It's just, I think it's the same thing as when another artist is talking about something he's into. It's like, when you're in a band, and, I remember when I was in a band, we loved Rocket from the Crypt, and we would go to radio stations and they'd say, hey, we want to play the new Wax single. I'd say, no way, we're going to play Rocket from the Crypt circa now. And our radio person hated me for it. I'm like, I don't want to play my band. I want to play Rocket from the Crypt.
Yeah,
But, I'm
right.
sure there's comics that you guys, if you talk about fans of this show, are going to be like, I'm going to go check them out. It's like,
Not fans of this show. This is sort of a comedy killer. Like, I think Chris Fairbanks actually quit comedy after his
Yep,
appearance
he's done.
here.
We haven't seen him since.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on a show tonight. He won't be.
Jonah Ray told me the other day, I don't know what he was talking to me about. He said to me, I'm going to quit comedy. I'm quitting. And I
He always says
And
that.
then I said, if you quit, can I have your jokes? I asked for the
Yeah,
joke
what'd he
book,
say?
and he said, I don't know if I'm quitting yet.
Yeah.
Jonah's one of those guys who he said that on Dana's show, Dana's podcast too. There's a bunch of comics that are always like, I shouldn't fucking do this anymore. My shit's just not. And
It's hard.
I will have
I think
have
at
those
that point,
emotions.
You have to take a break. That's
I
when
will
you
have
to
those
take a break.
emotions between shows on a Saturday.
But Jonah
Yeah.
puts himself in the line of fire by hosting a really popular show where fucking Louis drops by. Like every week he
Yeah,
has
it's
to watch
hard.
everyone in comedy
Yeah.
and realize there's a lot like it's hard to take yourself out of context and realize it doesn't matter that guy's hilarious. You're not like them.
Dude, that's
you
the
do
thing.
something completely
And
different.
that's not like that in music. It's so true you brought that up because in music, and that was the one thing I had to get over when I started doing stand up was you're at a show and whether it's the Laugh Factory and Chris D'Elia just went up and then Dane and you're like, okay, you have to go, and I was like, what? Like fuck, why are you fucking me like this? And then I realized, okay, not at those guys' level, but the comedian that has to go on after that has a different voice, a different attitude, a different direction, and the audience will give you that few seconds to adjust. Whereas if you have to go on after Metallica, you are fucked. If you have to go on after the Ramone, the Clash,
Right.
no one cares because music and people's brains, there's memories and thoughts and connections to that. Whereas I think with stand up. And you guys know that you have to go on sometimes after huge. You go on after Louis the other day at Meltdown, and you have a great set.
Right, but the other thing is Louis is only doing 10 minutes. If I had to go up after an hour of Louis, that would fucking be terrible. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to follow Metallica, you're following a set. If Metallica does 4 songs, you're
Metallica
like,
doesn't pop in at Meltdown.
But sometimes when you
Is
go to
Metallica
those,
playing Meltdown? When's that happening?
They're popping in for 10.
I'd love to see him do a pop-in.
I would love to
You know who
start
popped in the Meltdown? The Hives. What?
Yeah.
they just popped in.
Let's start telling people that.
That the Hives popped in?
No, the highs popped in. Louis went up, and then Metallica closed. It was
Metallica
crazy.
closed. Metallica could not follow Louis. That's how good. That's
That
how
was a little
hot Louis
weird.
is right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Not
that's-
even the same genre of anything.
So
Metallica
actually,
asked to switch with Louis.
Can we
So
not
we
have
got-
to follow Louis?
Yeah.
we never got to the thing
That's who they should have made Lulu with.
about Portland.
Portland.
So that was a show where,
That was Bridgetown Fest.
Yeah,
where
Bridgetown
you and I,
Fest
it was
where-
Fairbanks, you.
but
me.
I was like sitting there going, hey, I'm not on any good fucking shows. Had I known this, I probably would not have come up. Like every show I was on, there was a great show happening right next door, and I was like, well, this is
the
fucking
show
lame.
that you were on. I ran down to see you at the Hawthorne Theater.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like Dana and like a bunch of people, and I remember it was just packed. And I remember it was like that thing where you see your bro, like you're trying to get in to see your bro, and you're so far away, and you're just on stage, and it was rad. People were digging it.
So
That was a fun show.
Yeah.
So I got myself on another show, and I was like, "Cool, it's in the big fucking
The Baghdad Theater.
The Baghdad." I was
Yeah.
like, "Great, it's in the Baghdad." And then I get down there, and the Baghdad holds like 500 or 600 or something. It's a big
Dude,
theater.
it's huge.
There's a balcony.
Yeah.
And what? The first 4 rows are full and
Oh,
that's
God.
it. Like it's just
No one
an
was there.
empty place. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, this is not at all what. This is actually worse than had I not done a set. This is the kind of set that can really bum you out.
And an hour, and I remember being so excited because I'd gone up to Portland to do a bunch of shows, and I'd always seen the Baghdad Theater, and then that night,
Yeah.
Dana did a show there, and it was Dana and Matt Bronner, all those guys, and of course it's just like you can't fit another person in there, so you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
I wonder what it'll be like when we're here. And then there was, I think,
not great.
Yeah, the bartender in the back, you're like,
You
wow.
you hear
but I'm
that.
like Greg at that point. I'm just so stoked to be in a theater.
So you did a set and it was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just it was like a set. But then what the fuck happened?
Oh, you know what? That was when I learned. That was when I learned that you can do a set and there can be people that really don't like you and just really, really want to let you know. And it was the best thing ever because, I got done with the set, and this is the thing. So I got done with the set, and at the time, when you finish the set and you're like, you in your mind, you can judge yourself like, yeah, that was cool. Wasn't my favorite, but I didn't bomb. The set that I did 3 hours earlier, that was a bomb. That was like, I got on stage, everyone there, was like, we have nothing in common with you. We will not even go on the voyage. We don't want to pack our bags. You are what are separating us from who we really want to see. And that was what, and I'm used to that position. I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't like, I know I look lame. I am lame. This jean jacket, why do I wear Vans still? I'm a grown man. Okay, I was trying to like make myself like,
Hilarious.
we all
I have
get
fucking
Converse. Yeah.
studded Converse on. I mean, who's clinging the hardest?
that was the show.
Who's clinging the hardest?
Yeah, that
Painted
was
fingernails.
That was the show where I was like, man, I really tanked, and I remember I was feeling bad about it, and I so then I'm walking up to catch Greg, and then I go, okay, it'll be better at the Baghdad, and I run into some friends, and we're having some drinks. I'm like, cool. So then I do the Baghdad set, and it's not like the first show. So then fast forward to like 4 weeks later, the publicist at Side One, Jamie, who's amazing, she's sending, she's like, she's always doing our press, and she's like sending me this, and she always puts a little tag like, yeah, oh God, you must have done well, whatever. And then all of a sudden, this one review from the Portland show comes in, and there's nothing on it, like it's just the link, and I'm like, oh, whatever. So I click on it, and it says like, it was great title. It was like, the whole catchphrase was, did I just see? Did I just see Greg Behrendt destroy the Hawthorne Theater? Yes. Did I just see Dana Gold come out doing characters and telling stories that, like, did I just see? Did I just see? Did I just see? Last one. Did I just see Joe Sib bomb at the Baghdad Theater on a stage that is way too big for this green comic? Jesus. He was even given the light from one of his roadie gremlins or something, like making fun of the guy.
Did you have those?
No, well, like some sort of like, it was
We
like,
never even got Rody Gremlins.
it was like he was even given the light and continued to not entertain this audience that was you fucking suck. Which I was like, wow, man, I've always, when you're in a band and people hate on you, you can like blame, like, fuck, dude. Drummer was fucking hating it that night.
Yeah.
That's not my scene, because it's pretty rare that they out like one dude in the
guy,
band.
yeah.
Except when I was in Wax, I got outed a lot. Like the singer looks like a cheerleader. The singer's too happy. Like, I remember it said Wax, one of the funnest bands ever, and I thought it said funniest. I was like, hey, what's this mean? So like, I've been used to that, but then it was funny because then I called Greg and I go, dude, fuck, man. And he goes, what? And I go, dude, I just got this review and fuck it. And I read it to him. And I remember you were like, standardly doing 30 things at the same time. And I go, God, dude, I'm so bummed. Like, fuck, this sucks, man. I don't know. What do I, I was like, fucking, what do I do vibe, And Greg's like, he's like, really, man? Fuck, man. He's like, did you read the review about Kyle Kinane at South by Southwest? I go, no. What about it? He goes, no one did. No one read it either. No one cares,
that's
dude.
the thing.
And I go,
nobody
was he
gives a
even at
shit.
South by Southwest? He goes, fuck, I don't know. Like, you basically
Really,
saying
nobody gives a shit.
He goes,
about
no one
those
cares. And
articles.
I remember, I was like,
It's
wow,
seriously, it's
okay.
like a blog post. Nobody gives a fuck.
But you know
about
how it
this.
is, though, and like the
Yes,
thing,
you
it
never
still
want to read something
hurts.
shitty about yourself, but this is such a. I was saying the other day, like people aren't looking at the flip side of what's happening in the world. So when the internet sort of fucking came into like fruition like 3 or 4 years ago, we all decided this is a nation of haters. Mean.
Yeah.
YouTube mean. And you start to think to yourself, fuck, it's just people hating on things.
Yeah.
those are just the people on the internet.
Yeah.
This never been a better time to do anything now. People will accept you if you're a 50-year-old or a 9-year-old.
Totally.
People are more open to things than they've ever been. This generation voted in a black president.
What?
They're up for gay marriage.
what?
It's all like I was like, you know, old people, like people. I was just at the Outside Lands. People go watch fucking Paul McCartney, and then they go watch a punk band, and then they go see comedy. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
All they want to be is entertained.
But
this generation doesn't care how old you are, and there's a lot of people that love you, and they're not on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's what the record companies don't know. That's what a lot of people don't know.
That's
just
why-
because the Huffington Post crowd isn't your fan base doesn't mean you don't have a fan base.
The thing that I learned, though,
right?
the only way
those are just heat seekers.
No, the thing that I learned about it,
and I'm not against the Huffington Post, but you know what I'm saying.
But the thing that you're bringing up is this: that when we used to go out and do comedy, when anyone was doing anything, you were on TV, you 20 million people saw you, and the next day, the only people that dug you came up and said, "Hey man, saw you on the Tonight Show. Hey, saw you on Letterman. You were great." The dudes that didn't like you, the people that didn't like you, they talked about it quietly at the fucking water cooler.
Now they know they've got power.
Now they know they have a power. I talked to Brett Weinbach about it, once, and a video got posted, and someone said like about comedy was they said, "Hey man, if quit your day job unless this is your day job." And I was like, okay. And then it said the best quote was this. This was a video of mine, and it said hater on there. It said go back to your job at Foot Locker. And I was like, wow, when did Foot Locker become lame? Like, I'm so out of touch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. Like, I had to ask my daughter, like, she's 12. I'm like, hey, is Foot Locker lame now? Like, I thought it was cool.
God,
You know?
like,
And she was just like, I don't know. It's cool. Like, we, if the referee guys, I feel safe in there, Like,
Yeah, shit.
But
You
the
get a
thing,
really
What is going on with Foot Locker?
yeah.
You
The thing, though,
they've always got cons on sale.
My point being is that the only way that because I have to like see things to get over it, and I realize going into stand up, I've totally set myself up for people are gonna like you, people are gonna not like you.
Comedy is subjective.
But the other thing is this. What I've realized is this: when I'm driving in my car, right today, when I leave here, and you're driving down Rosito, you're driving on fucking Ventura, and you see a dude across the street, right, and he's sitting there at a 7-Eleven getting a pack of smokes and getting in his truck, and I envision that guy hates me, man, that guy hates me, like that's the guy that wrote that quote about me, fuck, and I go, do I care? Fuck him. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
Yes,
that's
you
what it
have
is.
to do.
But that's But the thing that's so gnarly is when you're in your chones at the computer and that quote comes up, you're so vulnerable. You're You're just like,
a lot of it depends on how you're feeling in the moment. Like
Yeah.
there was a thing with a guy who said something about me on TOEFOP recently, and it was just at a time where I was like, "Fuck, really? I don't want to deal with that right now." So, but because it's always there. If you go on, if you want to find something shitty written about yourself, you can always find it online. You can go to your videos. You can
But
go
here's
to
the
wherever.
thing: it's like exactly. I
can go into my wife's
I saw a
bedroom.
bad
That's
review of Amira's my book, which is out right now. It's just a fucking date. Get a copy.
Again, it wasn't bad. I just wrote it as
But here's
a
the thing.
constructive
Here's the
criticism.
thing. Years ago, I would have sat with it for like a couple of days. I literally just like forgot about. I forgot about it, and then I found out like the book's selling, and I'm like, okay, like. There's always going to be that person.
And there's
it
comics,
doesn't.
man.
I'm a fan. Like here's the thing. I love things. I never write shit.
Yeah, Jello.
When you like something, you don't fucking unless you meet the person.
Exactly.
I don't go back to iTunes and go, "Congratulations, Queens of the Stone Age, you've done it again."
Yeah.
I just quietly love them, and I show them by loving them, by showing up at their shows and buying their shit. That's all I have to do. All right, we're bringing it in.
Bring it in. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
You can follow me. You can go to Twitter, JoeSib22, JoeSib22.
SIB.
SIB, yeah. A lot of people go like SIBB. It's Joe SIB22. And then I don't know.
Your
Come out and
podcast?
see me do. I have a podcast at
Complete Control
joesib.com.
Radio. You have to hear it. It's great. Stand-up's great.
If you go to joesib.com, you can catch the podcast. It's not as frequent as I wish. Right now we have a tribute to Tony Sly, singer-songwriter, guitar player for No Use for a Name. Also a lot of Greg Barron's podcasts up there with all the guests I've had on the show. You can go to do that, and then the dates of when I'm doing the jokes on the microphone. You can check that out. My next big show is going to be October 4th at the Meltdown in LA.
Oh, nice. So I'm doing LA Podfest October 4th through 6th. We're going to be there on Sunday night.
Yep. I'll be in Portland that weekend, Friday and Saturday, if you're not going down.
And I'll be Sunday morning. I'll be doing the Dollop, and you can get tickets We just brought on the Night Vale podcast, which is the number one podcast. They have a crazy fan base, so hopefully that's a lot of fun. And
Astoy merchandise.
Astoy merchandise. We've no one's buying my newest.
Yeah, they
Shane
are. You're
Chambers
fucking.
shirt.
You're out of your mind. We just
There's
put
too
3 or
many.
4 of them.
People should buy them.
There's plenty. God, it literally.
Go and buy
Oh my
some. I
God!
don't
It's
know
like
what your guys'
you know what? He
problem is.
comes over, he sees the box, and he fucking starts whining. His shit is selling. You guys are buying plenty of it. That we put 5 of them in boxes. It's fine.
So
Keep coming over to the store. And there's
Shout
gonna
out
be
to
new shit
Reigning
in there.
Monarchs.
Oh, the Reigning Monarchs. So that is singles out this Tuesday.
Yep.
It's out this Tuesday, and then the record comes out September 24th.
And I have to say, because like as much, you guys are authorities on comedy. You can say that, right?
Yeah.
You guys
We-
are.
we know.
How long combined years in comedy between the two of you?
Ooh, 160.
it's like
yeah.
50.
Okay, so in my music background, I would say in the business, 25 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell you that your record does not suck, and I was nervous. I was I'll be totally
All right, Dave. All right, Dave.
totally honest. I'll be honest. I was. It would have been more. What I would have expected if it wasn't good, and then the record from start to finish, killer.
Thank you, bro.
I mean, I was stoked. It's like it reminds me like spaghetti western surf ska, just like it. That's the whole anthem. It's an anthem record. And I love the horns. Do you bring the horns on the road? That's the first question I have.
Yeah, we bring some of the horns. That's a lot of horns.
But there's people that are listening to the podcast. If they want to play horns, start learning now. So when you roll,
Yeah,
through
just
town.
come over, roll into town, and we will pay you. We're not,
not.
we'll pay you.
Stupid. Don't pay 'em.
In the leftover Shame Chamber shirt.
don't pay 'em.
We got plenty of Shame Chamber shirts. We got to do something with them. The best idea for Shame Chamber 2 is just to give it to you if you play the trumpet. That's about the best I've
Oh, I got one last thing. Email me right now at joesib22@gmail.com and give me your address, and I will send you a free True Stories and Bad Ideas. It's like my first comedy record. It's just all the stupid things I've done. And
There you go.
5 stories for
Great.
free.
Yep.
All right.
Glitter gun.
Thank you for having me.
Please hang up and try again. Please hang up and try again. Please hang up and try again.